This is the Home Secretary in the UK. Okay, and so just listen to what she said about migrants.
Our world is unprecedented mass migration. The wind of change that carried my own parents across the globe in the 20th century was a mere gust compared to the hurricane that is coming. Because today, the option of moving from a poorer country to a richer one is not just a dream for billions of people. It is an entirely realistic prospect. Every human, every single person has the right to aspire to a better life. As conservatives, that's one of the cornerstones of our philosophy. Indeed, without that dream, I wouldn't be standing before you today. But conservatives are also practical and realistic. Nobody can deny.
I knew there was a but. There was a but coming somewhere in there.
That there are far, far more people in poorer countries who would love to move to Britain than could ever be accommodated.
How dare they? You know, I seem to recall we had no problem moving from Britain to 25% of the fucking planet. Yeah. And the sea of change that brought you, which she proudly says, that brought you to the UK is the British Empire. But, you know, she says she's a child of empire, and proudly so. You know, I think I know what to call her. She's an Uncle Tom. That's what she is. Or Auntie Tom in this case. That's what she is. She is like the person who lives in the master's house and keeps all the other slaves in line and really believes in the master, that he is superior because he's white. So she is the Home Secretary, right? So in another country, you would call this Minister of Interior, which is it's a cabinet position, right? She might end up being the Prime Minister someday. She has extraordinary power in England, in the UK. She is stinking rich, as they all are, right? And now that she is okay, she's powerful and she's rich, she pulls up the ladder behind her, right? She makes sure that other immigrants cannot come in. It's okay for her to migrate, right? But not the other immigrants. The other immigrants are dangerous, but I'm okay, I promise. I will actually keep them in line, or rather keep them out. I mean, she's disgusting. She's a disgusting person. And I want to make something very clear, because she, like many other people, makes it sound like it's a crime to want to move from a poor country to a rich country. Like it's a crime to be happy. First of all, people do not travel across the Sahara or, you know, up to Libya and then risk drowning in the Mediterranean Sea. Have you tried it? I don't think you would like it. And then, you know, maybe go from France to England and risk drowning in the Channel, because they are, you know, just trying to sneak into the country and actually just really criminals deep down. They're escaping a country that has become so unlivable because of people like her, because of the empire that she is so proud of. So the reason you have developed countries and undeveloped countries, these terms are not really correct. You have rich countries and you have robbed countries that have been robbed, right? I talked a lot about Niger and the coup and all these things and the dynamic there. You know, you can't tell me that France depends on, for its nuclear program and its energy grid, it must get uranium from Niger, and somehow Niger, that provides France with an element that is critical for its defense and its industry and its economy, and yet it's the poorest country on earth. Someone is playing dirty tricks here and robbing the other. This is not an unfair percentage, it's robbing someone blind. And this is just one example, okay? So she is a disgusting person because she not only hates other people who aspire to a better life like she claims to support, but she is openly saying that they are actually invaders. So like now that she's rich and she's powerful, she's an okay migrant, right? Because she's going to keep the other migrants out. What a disgusting human being. And then look at this.
It's my job, first and foremost, to be honest and speak for the majority of the British people.
You don't.
And my comments have been somewhat mischaracterized. We have...
No. I literally played your clip. They were crystal clear. Never interrupted you. You were crystal clear. And this is not your first speech, is it?
So much to be proud of. We have a great multi-ethnic society, and in many parts of our country, integration has worked. But there are also many towns and cities around the United Kingdom where it hasn't.
Yes, number 10 Downing Street is one of them.
And communities are living parallel lives. They are coming from abroad. They are not learning the language.
Yeah, parallel lives. It's funny because she's really just talking about the stinking rich people like her in London who live in a parallel community to everybody else. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And so another thing is that, you know, she acts like the UK is going to accept refugees, but not economic migrants. First of all, the people that she calls economic migrants, those criminals who want to have a better life, how dare they? They are mostly refugees. If you look at the countries where people are, fleeing from the most, it's Ukraine, it's Syria, and it's Afghanistan. I wonder what those three have in common. Let's try NATO. Yeah? So people are fleeing those countries and going, to Germany, going to the UK and so on, who, by the way, are aging countries, so they're providing them with a free workforce after being screwed by them. But in any case, the point is just that they call them economic migrants when really they're coming from countries that have been crushed by centuries of imperialism and that are still being crushed today, right now, with neo-colonialism and with sanctions and with bullying, right? So when someone wants to tell you, well, imperialism was until 1945 and then the world became like a really rosy place, this is horse shit. No, it absolutely didn't. It absolutely didn't. And you still have imperialism. It's called neo-colonialism, okay? And the thing is that she and other people like her, like Priti Patel, who was the Home Secretary before her, who again is also who is also a child of immigrants, right? And hates other immigrants and refugees, right? Unbelievable. They are Uncle Toms, period. They both say that, if you want to come and seek asylum and have your case examined and then be given refugee status because you're fleeing from war or persecution, you can come, but you cannot come by boat. Because, refugees, when they're fleeing a war, the first thing they do is they just risk drowning in the Channel or in the Mediterranean Sea, right? That makes perfect sense. She says that you have to come through a safe and legal route. Yeah, there is no safe or legal route to the UK. There are none. There is not a single one. There are no safe and legal routes for people to seek asylum in the UK. She, as the Home Secretary, is literally forcing refugees to drown or risk drowning in the Mediterranean Sea. She is forcing them to take the boats. Her, the same woman that is telling you no more boats. You're creating the boats. You are the one creating this business of people smuggling refugees and making money off of them. And then they claim we're gonna clamp down and crack down on traffickers and people that are facilitating this. Dude, you are literally their best friend. You are the reason they go by boat. They have no other choice. You have left them no option, not one, to actually claim asylum, because you have to be on British soil to make a claim. You cannot go to a British embassy or find a British embassy and just make it there. You have to be on British soil. And the Refugee Convention, the United Nations Refugee Convention, which was written by the UK, among other countries, literally says, when refugees come to your country, you should expect them to come in really weird ways because they're fleeing war. It's literally in the convention. It's in the text. It says it. So she is breaking the Refugee Convention, as her predecessor is, Priti Patel, the other Auntie Tom, and not only that, but also, violating people's human rights, because to deny someone the right to seek asylum is to violate their human rights. To force someone into a position where they have to risk drowning just to make an asylum claim is also a violation of someone's human rights. One could even, maybe a savvy lawyer, I'm not a lawyer, but maybe a savvy lawyer could argue it's manslaughter. I don't know. My point here is just that she is the Home Secretary. She has enormous power in her hands. She could do whatever she wants to deal with this, to fix this, to give refugees who have gone through hell a safe way to make an application for asylum, and she doesn't. And then she says, look, I love refugees and migrants, but just not anyone except me. Right? I love migrants. I'm a migrant, but no more migrants. Oh, and by the way, the refugees, they can come, but they have to come through safe and legal routes, which I've made sure don't exist. And then, of course, there are all the other things that, she and her predecessor have worked on, like the Nationality and Borders Bill, where, they can take away anyone's citizenship, right? And of course, they tell you, oh, well, it's only for terrorists. Like, only for terrorists would we even contemplate undertaking, such an endeavor where we would withdraw someone's British citizenship. It starts like that, yeah, but then it becomes, oh, well, we suspect you've committed thought crime or said something we don't like, so we're withdrawing your citizenship. These are, again, these two women, Priti Patel, her predecessor, and Suella Braverman, are children of immigrants that have come to the United Kingdom, that are making sure no one else can come in, and even to the point that refugees who are fleeing war have to risk drowning in the Channel because they won't provide them with a single way to make an asylum application legally and safely and properly. That is absolutely disgusting. It's not incompetence, it's evil.